welcome to our journey into organic chemistry. Today, we are exploring monosubstituted cyclohexane conformations. Imagine getting on a crowded bus and looking for the seat with the most legroom. Molecules behave in the exact same way. They constantly shift and arrange themselves in space to avoid being cramped. Understanding how and why they do this is the key to predicting how complex chemicals behave in the real world. Now that we understand molecules seek comfort, let us look at how a six-carbon ring called cyclohexane arranges itself. It does not lie flat like a pancake. Instead, it puckers up and down into a shape resembling a reclining beach chair. In this chair conformation, there are two distinct positions for atoms to attach. The first is axial, pointing straight up or down. The second is equatorial, pointing outward along the middle of the ring. When we attach a bulky group, it has to choose between the cramped axial seat and the spacious equatorial seat. So, what happens if a bulky group takes the cramped seat? When forced into the axial position, the bulky group points straight up or down, right alongside two other axial hydrogen atoms. These atoms end up invading each other's personal space. This physical repulsion is called steric strain, or specifically 1,3 diaxial strain. It is physically equivalent to two Gauch-butane interactions. Because the atoms are too fat to sit next to each other without bumping elbows, the molecule strongly prefers to flip its shape, moving the bulky group into the roomy equatorial position. Let us visualize this uncomfortable bumping. On the left, you see the methyl group in the axial position. Notice the red dashed lines? Those represent the 1,3 diaxial interactions, where the methyl group is physically clashing with the hydrogen atoms on the same side of the ring. To escape this stress, the molecule undergoes a chair flip, shown by the equilibrium arrows. On the right, the methyl group is now in the equatorial position, pointing outward into empty space. Here, it has plenty of room to breathe, making this shape much more stable. This visual preference for the equatorial position can actually be measured mathematically. The energy difference between the two shapes is called the Gibbs free energy difference. By using a fundamental thermodynamic equation, we can link this invisible energy gap to a measurable ratio of molecules. In this formula, delta G is the change in Gibbs free energy, R is the universal gas constant, and T is the temperature. Finally, K is the equilibrium constant, which tells us the exact ratio of equatorial molecules to axial molecules. A negative energy difference proves the equatorial form is more stable. Now that we have our formula, let us see this with a concrete example. For methyl cyclohexane at room temperature, 298 Kelvin, the free energy difference is negative 7,000 joules per mole. We need to calculate the equilibrium constant, K. We start with our standard thermodynamic equation. To prevent errors, we first rearrange the formula algebraically to isolate the natural logarithm of K. Then, we carefully substitute our specific values into the rearranged equation, keeping a close eye on the negative signs. Continuing with our calculation, we multiply the gas constant by the temperature in the denominator and cancel the double negatives in the numerator. Dividing these gives us a natural logarithm of 2.825. To extract our variable from inside the logarithm, we take the exponential of both sides. This gives us a final equilibrium constant of 16.86. Physically, this means for every one molecule stuck in the cramped axial position, there are almost 17 molecules relaxing in the spacious equatorial position. We just saw how a small methyl group prefers the equatorial seat. But what happens when a molecule experiences extreme physical crowding? Enter the tert butyl group, an extremely bulky cluster of carbon and hydrogen atoms. When a group this massive is forced into the axial position, the energy penalty is huge. The crowding becomes so unbearable that the molecule essentially refuses to flip. It becomes locked into the equatorial conformation. Let us look at the math behind this locking effect. Before we calculate the locking effect, we need a way to express our result clearly. While the equilibrium constant gives us a ratio, percentages are much more intuitive. We use this standard mathematical formula to convert our ratio into a percentage. P represents the percentage of molecules in the equatorial conformation. We divide K, the number of equatorial parts, by K plus 1, which represents the total population, including that single rare axial molecule. Multiplying by 100 gives us a final percentage. Let us apply this to our massive tert butyl group. At room temperature, the free energy difference is a massive negative 20,000 joules per mole. We start directly with our rearranged thermodynamic equation from the first example. We plug in our new, much larger energy difference. Notice how the numerator is nearly 3 times larger than before. We simplify the denominator just as we did previously and remove the double negative in the numerator. The math is clearly setting up to show extreme physical stress. Dividing the large numerator by the denominator gives us a natural logarithm of 8.07. This high value is a direct mathematical reflection of the severe crowding. We take the exponential of both sides to solve for k. Because the exponential function grows so rapidly, we get a staggering equilibrium constant of 3,197. This means there are thousands of equatorial molecules for every single axial molecule. The axial form is practically non-existent. Finally, we substitute our newly calculated equilibrium constant into the percentage formula to see just how one-sided this is. We divide 3,197 by 3,198, then multiply by 100. The final result is 99.97%. The molecule is almost exclusively found in the equatorial shape. Because the attached group is so massive, it is effectively locked in place, proving how physical size dictates chemical behavior. You might wonder why this locking effect matters outside the classroom. Understanding these molecular shapes is absolutely critical in the pharmaceutical industry. Many life-saving drugs contain 6-membered rings, and their exact 3-dimensional shape determines whether they will fit into a receptor in your body. If a bulky group is stuck in the wrong position, the drug is like a bent key that will not open a lock. Furthermore, if a reactive part of a molecule is hidden by a bulky axial group, the chemical reaction will slow down or stop completely. Let us summarize what we have learned. Monosubstituted cyclohexanes exist in a delicate balance, constantly flipping to minimize physical strain. They will always try to place their largest attached group in the outward-pointing equatorial position to avoid the cramped crowding of 1,3 diaxial interactions. When groups are massive enough, they can completely lock the molecule into a single shape. By mastering how these physical preferences dictate stability, you now have the tools to predict how complex organic molecules will behave in the real world. Great job!